On the In Session Real Estate TV show, we're talking real estate. How to buy a home with little to no money down, 7 things you must know before you list your home for sale, and how to avoid probate, and more. Tune in.
Kenny Session has over 25 years in the real estate business in the Bay Area. Kenny is the past president of the California Association of Real Estate Brokers and the past president of Associated Real Property Brokers. And now, your host, your real estate broker, Kenny Session.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the In Session Real Estate TV show. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your morning to watch our show. I am Kenny Session, the broker and CEO of Session Real Estate. I've been in business since 1987, and this show has been in production since 1997. We're happy to be here now on KOFY TV, where we will be able to share pertinent information with you on a weekly basis. This is not an infomercial. This is a real estate TV show. We have shows already put together, such as how to buy a home with little to no money down, credit issues. If you've got credit issues, we have a show we've designed for people who need information about credit. Finally, the truth about reverse mortgages. We will be bringing that information to you on a weekly basis. On today's show, we're going to be showing you snippets of shows that we've recently recorded, such as the first interview was with Tyrone Cozy of Operation Hope. Operation Hope has real estate services and products to prepare people for home ownership, as well as to teach our youth financial literacy. Now here's Tyrone. We are at the Hope Center at Fruitvale Station.
That's
today,
right. That's right.
Right off of 880 freeway out near the, many of you, this is going all over the Bay, but I'm sure many of you guys pass by here going to the airport or going to the Oakland Coliseum. Fruitvale Station, right off of 880 at what is the 27th Street exit?
Yeah, well, actually coming from downtown, it's the Fruitvale exit.
It's the Fruitvale exit. So just to give you an idea of location where we are. Now talk about the other services, because it's an array of stuff that you guys do here.
It is, Kenny. So when you think about Hope, think about financial education and the various components of it, right? So we already talked about the youth division. That goes into the school system. It educates young people about financial education, and it provides opportunities for entrepreneurship, right? But in the Hope Center, that's primarily designed for adults, right? So we'll start with our first-time home buying program, one that you're familiar with, Kenny. In fact, you referred people over to us. So we are a HUD-approved agency. That means we have an 8-hour course that if you take that course, you wind up getting a certificate, which means you could position yourself to get a down payment assistance from the city of Oakland, which recognizes us, one of only 4 organizations they recognize, or some of the other outlying cities where your audience may be interested in living in.
Well, most of these cities do have down payment assistance programs.
They do.
And they can get that assistance by attending your home buyer program,
That's right.
Whether you're in Santa Rosa or San Jose or anything in between.
That's
you
totally
can
true.
Get what you need.
That's absolutely right. And the interesting thing is that if you have a HUD-approved certificate, better positions you for any of those organizations or any of those cities to go to and have a conversation with them. So we do a 3-hour orientation during a weekday, and then once a month, these are once a month workshops, we do a 5-hour on a Saturday. Now the what I call the twin workshop for this is called the credit and money management workshop, right? Because when someone is working on getting their home, they usually come to the conclusion that they got to stop and take a look at their credit and see what does it look like, see what they need to do. Sometimes it's just understanding it. You know, there's this energy that we have around credit. We think that our self-esteem is tied to it. You know, so it's all about, you know, if I don't have a high credit score, then, you know, what am I about? But the thing is that people are afraid to look at it. So the beauty of coming here, with your permission, is that we run a credit report, what we call a soft hit, so it doesn't have a negative impact. You have to give us permission to do that, right? And what we do is that we sit down, print that out for you, whole workshop that talks about understanding credit. What is a budget about? You know, how do you manage your money properly? You know, how does the credit score work? You know, what are the strategies you can use to do 2 things which are different from each other? Credit repair is different from credit building. Right. You know, those are the 2 different strategies. So you come to a workshop, it's a 3-hour workshop, typically on a Saturday. You get the broader information, You get everything that you're kind of interested in, get a lot of your questions asked, and now you're eligible to meet with a counselor one-on-one. So we have 3 counselors that are part of the center that provide one-on-one counseling. Meet with them, work on your stuff, come back 30 days, work on your stuff some more, come back 90 days. We move you along, and if you decide to join the 700 credit score community, which is served through our credit and money management department, then you're on a 12 to 24 month plan to move your score from wherever it is now. You have to be about 585 and have to have some kind of income coming in. But those are the criteria that move you through the 700 credit score community.
That's huge for our community. That was Tyrone Cozy with Operation Hope. That was only a small portion of the show. We will be airing the entire show in weeks to come, so please come back and watch that show in its entirety. The next interview we have is from Mr. Stephen Kennedy, attorney at law. He is a probate attorney. That is his specialty. We're going to be talking about living trust. Now, here's Stephen. And that's the reason for this show, talking about trust, is to save money in our community and people to know that what is available for you. And again, in this little short period of time, we can't teach you everything about probate, but one of the things we want you to do is find a probate attorney. Either you can call Steve and we're going to give you his information, or you can even contact me and I can get you in touch with Steve. But if not in this area, maybe you're outside of the area, in one of the areas out not close to Oakland. Steve, why don't you talk to him about picking an attorney? Because we know that can be problematic.
Yes, okay. Well, the first thing you don't want to do, I mean, when I started practicing 45 years ago, a lot of lawyers did lots of things. And now everybody is specializing. And so what you want to make sure that is you do not hire a criminal defense lawyer, a drunk driving specialist. You don't want to hire a personal injury lawyer. You don't want your workers' comp lawyer. What you want is a probate and trust attorney to do your trust. Okay. Now, you can look in your yellow pages, and the attorneys are first listed alphabetically and then by specialty. And when you turn to the specialty listings, you can look under estate planning, probate, wills, trusts, and find attorneys who advertise their services in those areas. Then you can call them and find out what they want for an initial consultation. So you get to meet the attorney face to face and essentially size them and their situation up and decide if there's somebody with whom you'll be comfortable. Okay, that's one option. In just about every county in the state, there's a county bar association, and just about every county bar association has a lawyer referral service. In Alameda County, the lawyer's referral service will arrange for you to meet with a lawyer, and the charge is $35. And the Bar Association has panels and of different specialties, and you'll get to talk to a probate lawyer for 30 minutes for $35. Obviously, the attorney isn't going to do much for you for $35, but he's just going to talk to you, or she's just going to talk to you and tell you what services they would recommend, and how much that might cost you, or how much that would cost you. And you have to keep in mind that attorneys' fees vary a lot. Some attorneys might charge as little as $200 an hour, and some might charge as high as $400 or more per hour. You have to keep in mind that, generally speaking, the more expensive lawyer is not any better than the cheap lawyer. And that's real good there. Some lawyers promote themselves by charging a lot per hour. If an attorney says, well, I'm such a fine lawyer, I charge $1,000 an hour, well, there just isn't anybody that good. I mean, it just, you go back to $250. And so, but look into the cost before you get involved, and keep in mind a simple trust and everything should run in the $800 to $1,200 range, maybe a little higher depending on all of what's involved. But once you start getting into $3,500, and I've seen them over $5,000, you're just tossing your money.
Okay. You're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Hi, this is Tyrone Cozy, and you are watching In Session Real Estate TV show.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, Independent Insurance Broker.
The difference between income protection and life insurance is about legacy. Income protection is about protecting your life while you're working. Very different, but both very necessary. Please call me for a 30-minute consultation. Dawn Hills Insurance for your every need.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, Independent Insurance Broker.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
Hi, my name is Steve Peterson. I'm the broker owner of Infinity Investments, and we're a boutique commercial real estate firm based here in downtown Oakland, but we service the entire Bay Area. Our specialty is multifamily properties, both from a brokerage and an investment standpoint. We do a monthly seminar on the last Wednesday of the week, free to the public, where we're educating people on how to invest in apartment buildings and how to get started investing and how to just understand what it takes to be successful in the income property business.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
Oh, we finally bought a place.
Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, by the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
You are watching the In Session Real Estate TV show.
You're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show. I'm Kenny Session. Our next snippet is Miss Dawn Hills. She's going to offer information about asset protection insurance. Now, here's Dawn. We all run into issues in life. You know, I've had issues in life. I'm sure many of our community people that are watching today have had issues where they've lost their jobs and stuff like that. So won't we just talk about why are you so passionate about this? Because I know, you know, you've been bugging me about it for years. But tell them why you're so passionate about this. What happened to make you so passionate?
I have two stories.
Let's get the best one.
The best story is I've been preparing to become an entrepreneur since '98. This is the first time I've ever told anyone, so here we go. And during that preparation, I was hit by a car at 60 miles an hour. My kids were in high school, and junior in high school, senior in high school. I was out of work for 18 months, recovering. Had I had income protection for those 18 months, my income would not have been negatively impacted. Unfortunately, all I had was the state disability, which took a year to come through. And I had to depend on my family, which was stressful because I'm a very independent person, which most people are. That buy a house, they are respectful, they're responsible, they're appreciative of what they do to get what they have and keep it.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and that's very important. You know, as you know, I've been in business for 28 years, and believe it or not, I've known her probably all of those 28 years. We've known each other for a long time, and I remember that time. It was a very rough time in your life. But the other thing that happens, we know just in our recent past that many people lost their homes because they lost their jobs or companies were closed down. And won't you talk about a win story that you've had where someone that did get this in protection and it ended up helping them through these hard times? Won't you talk about one of those?
Interesting. I have that one as well. I fell down and I knocked the wind out of myself, and my blood pressure went through the roof, and I couldn't work. And I went home, and I went through the chiropractor, acupuncturist, did all of my health care, no problem. And I healed inside of 6 weeks because I knew I had my income protected, because I've protected $5,000, which is the nut that I need to live. Mm-hmm. And in 30 days, I had a check, so I wasn't stressed. And what a lot of people don't realize, stress is why you don't heal. Because I was able to heal, I was back to work in 6 weeks, opposed to 18 months.
Well, let me ask you this. I know that I'm just going to ask what I believe the community would ask is how much does this kind of stuff cost? Is it based on your age? Is it based on what is some of the criteria that's going to be used in order to come up with a cost? And what kind of average cost are we talking about?
Are you average?
I'm beyond average.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So each individual has their own story. As I stated at the beginning of our conversation, everything is about your health. The younger you are, the more you can protect your income. The older you are, the more imperative that you protect your income. So whatever it costs, it really doesn't matter. Because you can't put a price on your well-being, your health, and your life, your quality of life. You can't put a dollar on that.
That was Ms. Dawn Hills with Asset Protection Insurance. For more information, you can contact her directly. And our next interview is Mr. Joe Larkin. Mr. Joe Larkin, which is a good friend of mine, he's going to offer you information about property taxes and property tax appeals. Now, here's Joe Larkin.
Real estate taxation, it only encompasses 5% of the total test. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, and you know, it's only 5%, but it's huge. And we know that the counties depend on our real estate taxes because it's vital to the community services that we, provide, whatever community you live in, whether it's the schools, the fire, the police, emergency services. It's a lot of people depend on that. But at the same time, part of the goal is property taxation is you want to find out what's the quote-unquote fair market value. And so we want the opportunity to be fair because you don't want to be overassessed, and at the same time it wouldn't be fair to be underassessed. And so, again, it's important. So hopefully I covered that. So we talked about how they can get it.
How they can get it.
Yes, the name of the form.
The name of the form, where to get it. Now I want to just talk a little bit about their tax bill because I know, man, I have a hard time with mine.
Yes, sir.
Just talk about the bill a little bit.
Pretty much your tax bill is broken up into several different sections. Section 1 pretty much talks about and describes the owner, the assessed address, the address of the property. When you look to the right, it has a lot of special assessments and charges. Each county is also assessed at least 1% of the property tax value. So when you look at your tax bill, depending on where you live, and not only where you live, what I mean by that is the city that you live in, the part of the city that you live in, it can vary because people vote for different bonds and assessments. So depending on where you live, you have a tax bill that's based on 1 point something, something, something. And let me give you an example. In Alameda County, there are 14 cities, but let's choose, again, we're in Oakland, so let's choose the city of Oakland. The city of Oakland has to pay off bonds and assessments for like the Raider deal, okay? So your taxes for those if you live here, because until that's paid off, as bonds and assessments are paid off, then you'll see that 0.00, that number starts to decrease. For those who have other services like paramedics, schools, the ambulance services, and so these things factor the 1 point something something. So after you add up all of those charges, then when you drop pretty much in the middle of the tax bill, it has your first installment, and then it has the amount for your second installment. But to the left, paragraph number 5, it says important messages. A lot of people don't key on that important message aspect, but it's crucial because oftentimes people can actually lose their property if they fail to pay a prior tax bill. Now, if you don't pay your tax bill on a tax roll and 5 years has gone by, then the county has the right to sell that property. And oftentimes people get their tax bill, maybe they had a garbage lien on there that they didn't pay. So if you don't pay your garbage bill,
they get on the bill.
Yes, it puts a lien on there. And so depending upon, again, what community you live in, but that paragraph 5 has some vital and important information, and it's very crucial because you can save yourself a lot of time, headache, and money by really focusing in on that. So that's pretty much what you have as far as the tax bill is concerned.
You're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up?
We finally bought a place.
Holy cow!
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, independent insurance broker.
The difference between income protection and life insurance is about legacy. Income protection is about protecting your life while you're working. Very different, but both very necessary. Please call me for a 30-minute consultation. Dawn Hills Insurance for your every need.
Do you need income protection? Call Don Hills, independent insurance broker.
My name is Denise Smith, and I'm the owner of Royal Realtors and Loan Services. I got involved in real estate when I was 14 years old. I started when they gave me a job for the Youth Disadvantaged Program. My grandmother always told me to work. She told me when times are good you work, when times are bad you work, when times are okay. She said, baby, your troubles will begin the day you stop working. My number one mentor in this business was Noble Fields. I saw Noble Fields when I was a teenager, and I used to see her on the billboards, and I used to always say, I want to be like her. She sold real estate, she had a huge billboard, and she looked absolutely beautiful. I owned $1 million worth of property before I was 30. I acquired at one time up to 120 units. If I can do it, you can do it too. So I'm hoping to inspire anyone that would like to read my story, encourage, inspire, and ignite someone to say, I too want to either buy real estate or go into the real estate career.
Hi, my name is Steve Peterson. I'm the broker owner of Infinity Investments, and we're a boutique commercial real estate firm based here in downtown Oakland, but we service the entire Bay Area. Our specialty is multifamily properties, both from a brokerage and an investment standpoint. We do a monthly seminar on the last Wednesday of the week, free to the public, where we're educating people on how to invest in apartment buildings and how to get started in investing and how to just understand what it takes to be successful in the income property business.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
I'm Joe Larkin, the chairman for the Alameda County Consumer Affairs Commission, and you're watching the In Session Real Estate TV show.
Welcome back to the In Session Real Estate TV show. I'm Kenny Session. Our last snippet is from Steve Peterson, who specializes in commercial real estate. Now here's Steve. Just recently, with people using 100% financing to buy income property, and the property, and they're going in the door with a negative cash flow, and then when something happens, it just there's no way to recover. You want to talk a little bit about that that type of mistake that people make, because it's not all hunky dory, but there are major mistakes that investors have made. You want to talk about a little bit about that?
And I think it's something that we saw maybe for the first time in history on an institutional level. You had major institutions making these mistakes, and it basically is over leverage. So when you buy a property and it has too much debt. And the reason why someone would do that is because, hey, I don't have to put money down.
I don't have no money. Right? I don't have no money to put down.
Right, and so I can go buy this property. The challenge is that the net operating income, the money that's left over after you collect rent and you pay your expenses, is not enough to pay the mortgage. And if it's not enough to pay the mortgage, it's certainly not going to pay you.
That's a horrible deal.
That's a horrible deal. And a lot of people got into those horrible deals. A lot of companies got into those horrible deals because they got wrapped up into the philosophy of it's just going to keep going up. Real estate, it's real estate. They're not making it anymore. They're just going to keep going up. Well, real estate is cyclical. It goes up and it goes down.
Right.
And we have to remember that. Therefore, the numbers have to make sense. When I say the numbers have to make sense, the net operating income not only has to pay the mortgage, but it also has to pay you. It has to provide a cash flow. And if you don't budget for it to pay you, when things go wrong, you're going to have to pay for it. So that's the biggest thing you don't want to do. You don't want to put too much debt on a property to the point where all the income for the property is going to pay the debt and there's nothing left over. The only time you would go into a property where there's high leverage or higher than normal leverage is that the income is higher than normal, and it's able to not only support that leverage but also pay you.
Right.
And when I say pay you, that's your cash flow, and you have to budget that in. That's the whole point of buying income property.
And that's why I asked that question, because I know that I've personally made that mistake buying something that was over leveraged. And at the end of the day, that even though I didn't put very much of my money into the transaction, even though I wasn't totally, I didn't have much money in the deal, it ended up costing me a lot of money, because at the end of the day, like you said, as soon as one of those tenants didn't pay the rent, as soon as I think we had a plumbing backup, and just any small thing that happens can just knock you all the way off the Richter scale, and then it start costing you money to try to save your butt.
Right, and when you got into it with the whole purpose of, hey, I'm going to make an income, this property, I'm going to buy this property, and it's going to supplement my income, it's going to develop passive cash flow, I'm building with, that's the purpose of why we buy properties like this. But if we don't get the fundamentals right, we can end up out of the business quicker than we got in.
And that's why I wanted to have Steve here, folks, because I know that I've made mistakes, because his lane, the lane that he's in, is not the lane that I specialize in. I know a lot of the stuff, but by no means do I consider myself an expert or anything close to an expert when it comes to commercial or in major income buildings. Steve is the person that I would send you to if you call me and ask me that. I don't try to get in someone else's lane. That's another thing we need to talk about. It's people that are in the business that are trying to do what you do and don't have enough information.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that? Because I know you've got agents as well, and some of them are not qualified.
Well, and that's a great point, Kenny, and it's important for people to get a real good understanding of the business, especially commercial. But any element of real estate, you should develop an expertise, or specialty. You don't want to be the jack of all trades and the master of nothing. You want to get one or two topics really down pat to where you know it like the back of your hand.
That was Mr. Steve Peterson from Infinity Real Estate speaking about commercial real estate. For more information, tune in to all of our shows, which will be broadcasting here on KOFY TV each and every week at 8:30 a.m. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your morning to watch our show. Remember this, Jesus Christ is Lord. He loves you, we love you, and we love what we do. We'll see you next week.
For advertising information on the In Session Real Estate TV show, or to buy or sell real estate, give us a call at 510-568-4200 and log on to our website at sessionrealestate.net.